You are welcome to Literature Hub 247, your online literature class. This video is about an African novel titled Redemption Road, written by Elma Shaw. Earlier on this platform, we discussed the plot summary as well as chapters 1 to 3 of Redemption Road. So, this is chapter 4 of the novel. If you need the link to the previous video on this novel, just make your request through the message section and the link will be sent to you. Let's go into the classroom. Earlier, we discussed about the death remembrance of Granny May. We've also read about Mrs. Vanny and also the return of Bendu to our office after the death remembrance of our Granny. So let's go ahead with chapter 4. Bendu goes to the room for the counseling session. Rosetta, Josephine, and Teny, who are the victims of the war, are in counseling session today. Rosetta lost her husband to ethnic violence during the war, and this makes her bitter. So Bendu is now in her office, that is the PIP office, where she's there to attend to some war victims, and we have 3 of them. We have Rosetta, Josephine, and Teny. Josephine on her own is friendly. She's a motherly figure and always open up and encourages younger women to do so. Teny is a cook's helper at Siata's house. It is Bendu who advises Siata to send her to PIP twice a week when she complains about her. Remember, Siata is Bendu's sister. So she makes the recommendation to her sister to send Teny to PIP when she complains about her behavior and response in the house. The 3 girls are affected by various symptoms of post-traumatic stress due to what they experienced during the war. Siata has fired her first. That is, Siata fired her first. Bendu then observed that the 20-year-old girl is not lazy. It is depression that keeps her in bed for days sometimes. That is, when remember the scenarios of the war, she feels depressed, so will not be active in the house. She's the youngest and still in high school, as she lost several years during the war. After weeks of counseling, there are changes in the girl's attitude. The counseling group greets Bendu as he joins them. They are given the assignment to write a letter to the person who dehumanized them during the war. Teny stands to read her letter and stays for some time. She finally begins to read it. So Teny's letter is addressed to her mother. She feels that her mother dehumanized her during the war. Now, let's share her experience. Teny's letter is addressed to her mother, whom she accused of handing her over to the warriors. She writes that her mother told the warriors to leave her and her boy child as it would be useful for them, rather than the baby and herself. That is, the mama told the warriors that they should take away Teny, while they leave her and the boy child alone, that Teny will be useful for them. She writes further that her mother even slaps her and pushes her to the warriors, where she holds on to her. Teny becomes emotional here and pauses. Rosetta and Josephine comfort her and she continues. She expresses how she escaped from the warriors and ran back naked to her mother bleeding. She condemns her mother for denouncing her and sending her away at age 12. It was a stranger who came to her aid to cover her nakedness and took care of her. Teny sits down after reading the letter and looks into space, wiping her face with a small towel. Bendu flashes back and asks if she could have survived such an experience at age 12. She was 8 during the war, but Calvin and Benji, her brother, were 12. She then casts her mind back and asks herself what Calvin saw that April afternoon. We are still going to read about what Calvin saw that April afternoon in subsequent chapters. Bendu and Agnes have conducted many workshops in peace and practice, and there are always 1 or 2 stories that look complicated to them. After a moment of silence, Agnes says they have listened to the 3 letters. She continues that many are hurt by strangers, but sometimes the greatest pain comes from the people they know. She walks up to Teny and comments her. She gives a simple analogy that it's like Teny just puts alcohol on her sore, but it will only make it better. You know, the analogy explains how Teny will be feeling. That is, she will be feeling the pains, but later it will be better. So now use the analogy of putting alcohol on somebody's sore. She then asks what happens if they have to address the person who hurt them or kill somebody dear to them. What they are saying here is that if they see that person physically, what would they do? Rosetta responds that she will kill him immediately. Agnes asks again whether the killing will bring about peace. Rosetta replies that the person should have thought about that before killing her husband. Josephine on her own says she will just leave him to face the judgment of God. Agnes then gives them the assignment to think about how they will deal with the situation before the next meeting. Teny responds that they have a lot to say as victims. Agnes corrects her that they are not victims but survivors since they are alive. That means it's only the dead that are the victims. Those that are living are just survivors. Bendu goes back to her office after the session. She writes a thank you letter to Calvin and works on a grant proposal for a project that will help the body. Bendu is moved by Teny's letter, which is normal. She likes the girl for her honesty and appreciation of PIP services. Despite the bad experience he has, she's still positive. Bendu and Agnes leave the office around 6 p.m. as usual. Agnes finds a Congo town taxi while Bendu goes to find some bread at Oriental Bakery on Maple Street. She's greeted by the people as she walks down Broad Street. One of the hair braiders called out to her to come and do her hair. She says she will let them know when she's ready. As Bendu is about to move past the Mala clinic, she looks across the street at the gas station and sees Commander Cobra. This Commander Cobra is the leader of the soldiers that capture Bendu Lewis. And after that, she was taken to the Luma camp where she was traumatized seriously. Her body system changes immediately and begins to tremble with fear. She glances in the direction again to ascertain that it won. Cobra at that instant also raises his head and looks around as if he suspects someone is looking at him. Bendu instantly lowered her head and turned back towards Broad Street and mixed with the small business owners selling their goods. They think she wants to buy something, but she wheels them away and sits on a cement brick on the floor. She's feeling dizzy. She lowers her head to allow blood to flow back to her brain. The reminiscence of the war reflects in her brain, shouting, screaming, blood, gunfire, bodies and baby crying. When she came back to her senses, she hurried back to the gas station. So that is chapter 4. If you are new on this platform, you can subscribe to the channel by just a click on the subscribe button and click on the bell icon so that you'll be notified whenever any video is produced. You're also free to share any of our videos on any social media platform. Like this video, share it, invite your friends to join us. Thank you. I wish you best of luck. Let's meet in chapter 5.